And to that piece of lieutenant that's always on his podcast, bash us, him.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. Crime and Politics. I'm your host, John McCarry. This episode is brought to you by New York's finest retired and unfiltered podcast, Finest Unfiltered. Sorry we haven't dropped any content early this week. I'm on the road. Eric's on the road, but we got a lot coming up, but I had to get this one out. I'm very annoyed at what I'm seeing from the New York City Fire Department, the FDNY. They are once again going after firefighters' First Amendment rights. The timing of an order that came out, it can't be mistaken as to why it's happened. First, let's just go back a few months ago at an award ceremony, at a promotion ceremony. Letitia James, New York State Attorney General, speaks up. She receives a standing, not ovation, but a standing room of boos. Immediately after that, upper echelon of the FDNY, under the self-proclaimed agent of change, Laura Kavanaugh, comes out and says, all of you who are booing better turn yourselves in so we don't have to hunt you down. Clear violation of firefighters' First Amendment rights. They back off the entire investigation. They back off all those statements. They pretend like it never happened, right? And now all that goes by the wayside. But what happens the other day? New York City Council, there's a hearing in New York City Council to get fired New York City workers back, people who were terminated over a arbitrary and capricious vaccine mandate that Bill de Blasio implemented and Eric Adams enforced. Now, there's an organization called Bravest for Choice. I think everybody should be following them. Instagram, Twitter. Bravest for Choice is made up of retired members, some active members, but the retired members are the people that are really running the show. And what they've been doing is advocated to our elected officials. Big shout out to New York City Councilwoman Joanne Ariola for standing by, actually getting some of the people that were terminated, put on leave without pay, back to work, and continuing to advocate for people who really have no voice and are continued to not have work, right? Eric Adams said himself, there's nothing more anti-American than not allowing people to work. Yet he won't allow New York City residents to work. I'm one of them, right? Big shout out to forced retired, 38-year fire chief Tom LaPola. He's running for state assembly up in Monroe County. You're going to see him sitting up at that dais as well, still sitting there advocating. You don't see him running a campaign. He doesn't even tell you that he's running while he's sitting there. He's up there with Bravest for Choice, speaking out, advocating to our elected officials. And I'll tell you, the bill, I think, was well received in city council from what I saw. I saw the bill get a lot of praise from bipartisan, from wherever the end are. I mean, however you felt about the mandate, however you feel about it then, I mean, now it's ridiculous. It's over, right? We're letting tons of people in the country unvaccinated. There's no longer a requirement to take the COVID-19 vaccine to become a member of the FDNY or the NYPD or any other city agency. So why can't these people go back to work? They did absolutely nothing wrong. They should have been placed back immediately upon the mandate being lifted. You know, and what the bill is going to do is institute a policy, that a return to work policy, basically. Like, I was never notified that I could go back to work. I heard through word of mouth. By the time I heard through word of mouth, it was too late. You know, some people were told they need to sign a waiver, waive away their civil rights, their right to sue, their right to back pay. Why would people need to sign away their rights if they didn't do anything wrong? If New York City didn't do anything wrong, why would they require this? And the requirement was even as ridiculous as, you need to waive your rights and maybe we'll take you back. Maybe we'll take you back. It wasn't 100% guarantee that you were going back. So the whole thing, the whole reinstatement process, there really was none. There was none really written out. And even what they had, again, the same way as they determined religious exemptions, medical exemptions, it was completely arbitrary and capricious. I mean, and I think everybody could see that there was not a return to work. The people that were forced out, the people that were denied both religious and medical exemptions, never even received notification so that they had the opportunity to reapply. So this was the bill that was pushed, again, by Bravest for Choice, by Cops for Freedom, by Celi Batista, Arthur Roldan, by Teachers for Choice, Michael Caine, by the tons of advocates that are out there stopping, not forgetting about the injustice that happened over 3 years ago to a lot of people. So this bill, it's going to go up for a vote. It looks pretty positive. And then all of a sudden, we get an order. We get an order comes out from the FDNY talking about political activities, how to stray away from political activities online. Let me just read the title of that bill for you. I apologize. Everything's going to take me a little longer because I'm not by my desk and I'm not home. Statement concerning politics in the workplace. And I'll just read you a brief statement. The workplace is generally not the appropriate place for political expression. All members are reminded that conduct that is demeaning, dehumanizing, hurtful, or offensive has the effect of excluding others, regardless of social or political affiliation, may constitute violations of department policy. So, I mean, we've seen under New York City Mayor Eric Adams, we've seen all of our agencies to be politicized. The FDNY on August 10th, 2023, violated everything they wrote in that policy, including that little snippet. I'm going to read to you what they wrote. New York City will continue to lead on the asylum seeker crisis. They were asylum seekers then, they weren't migrants. They had just stopped being called undocumented immigrants to then becoming asylum seekers and now migrants. So New York City will continue to lead on the asylum seeker crisis. We will continue to do more than any other city or level of government in the nation to accommodate asylum seekers because that's who we are. But this is a national crisis and it needs a national solution. Now, again, that was tweeted out by just about every agency in New York City, completely taking a political stance. I think that this is from the FDNY's social media account. This is a taxpayer funded account, right? Another apolitical, or what's supposed to be an apolitical organization. But under the woman right behind me, Laura Kavanaugh, the self-proclaimed agent of change, we've seen the FDNY become completely politicized. So I think that tweet wasn't appropriate in the workplace. I don't think an agency should be tweeting that. I think as a reminder, that could be demeaning, dehumanizing, hurtful, and offensive to all of the people who immigrated here legally, all the people who continue to try to immigrate here legal, all of the people that were harmed by illegal aliens. So you can't take one stance and be political, but then when something doesn't align with you, you don't want to be political. We also seen an individual get fired by the FDNY after they threw out an exam and they started hiring basically diversity, equity, inclusion hires, like forced equity, taking people in the fire department that would not traditionally have passed those tests. They lowered standards to bring people in, people of color, people that match their standards, whatever it is, women at whatever ethnicity, religion. They wanted to diversify the NYPD and they forced it. So they fired a person that wore a T-shirt, not at work, only off duty, and his shirt said merit matters. But in 2020, a black fire company, a predominantly black fire company in Brooklyn, wore a T-shirt that said Black Lives Matter on it. And that was completely fine. Nobody was terminated. The person who wore a T-shirt off duty that merit matters was fired. The people who wore Black Lives Matter as their engine company logo, and I believe it said something about 400 years of slavery on there. I could be wrong, but I believe it did. It said something. They wore that at work, to work, while they were working. Nothing happened to them. So you're seeing a complete double standard. So now the city council bill comes up, and then this order comes out. The timing is impeccable. It can't be denied. This is a clear attack on firefighters' First Amendment rights. I want to bring up one segment of the testimony. This is an EMT who was fired.
Good afternoon. My name is Jack Wei Lin. I was an EMT with the FDNY for over 14 years. I'm here representing former FDNY EMS workers fired over non-compliance with the COVID vaccine mandate. After the public sector mandate was lifted in February 2023, there was a lack of communication and protocol regarding reinstatement. I wasn't informed by mail or phone call or email informing me of the process to come back. In June 2023, within 1 year of being fired, I initiated contact with the fire department to inquire about the reinstatement process. My 3 email requests for more information went unanswered for 6 weeks until Councilwoman Ariola's office intervened on my behalf. Finally, I received an email response in late July 2023. I was sent a DCAS waiver asking me to surrender my right to sue just for the possibility of maybe getting my job back. Other members were reinstated, no waivers required. Even retirees could return without signing away their legal rights. The double standard is clear and unacceptable. I ask you today, the city claims no wrongdoing. If the city claims no wrongdoing, why must I forfeit my right to sue in order to reclaim a position I should have never lost? And if wrongs were committed, why am I still being penalized while others are being made whole? Reapplying as a rookie EMT after 14 years of dedicated service was and still is a condition I'm unwilling to make. With Resolution 5, you guys can right this wrong. Vote to reinstate every worker terminated under the mandate. Send a message that New York values its public servants. We served this city courageously for years. Now it's time for you to have our backs. Thank you.
I mean, absolutely heartbreaking. You see right there, New York City resident, firefighter, EMT, being denied his right to work, his ability to work. Again, Eric Adams said it. I didn't say it. Nothing is more anti-American than not allowing someone to work. So why are we not allowing this gentleman to work? What now can we say that he's done wrong? We've never even said what the undue hardship was. They've never even labeled out the undue hardship that these people have caused New York City or their employer, right? Clearly, there was no undue hardship, because how could one employee cause you an undue hardship for the same thing you granted an exemption to somebody else for and said, you're not going to cause an undue hardship? That on its face is discrimination. So now this political expression comes out immediately after that, right? Because Bravest for Choice, I'll tell you, again, they have some retired members, some powerful retired members who have not relented. They want to see their brothers and sisters back to work. And not just the firemen, the cops, the teachers, the sanitation workers. Big shout out to Danny Holkauer, who's been out there speaking out. He's a sanitation worker, and he keeps saying it. I just want to get back to throwing garbage out in the rain, picking up your garbage in the rain. It's all I want to do. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be the city council hearings. I just want to go back to do my job. Why is he not being allowed? Why? It makes zero sense. And now here comes out the agent of change. She puts this, oh, you cannot endorse a political candidate. You cannot do this. I mean, listen, everything's political. Life is politics. People tell me all the time, I'll stray away from politics. Every stance I take on anything is political. If I support the profession that I once worked in, it's taking a political stance. Same for firefighters. It's the same for teachers, right? When your profession becomes politically unfriendly, you're talking politics. And honestly, it's everything. Politics is life. The rest is just details, my friends. So the timing of this is impeccable. And what they're doing is seeking to crush any dissent. They're putting this order out because I believe that they already have an investigation into the active members of Bravest for Choice, and they're getting ready to perform some retaliation on them. So I'm putting this out as a warning to the warriors and Bravest for Choice. If you're active, don't say anything. You have enough retired members. They're the people who have been pushing they've been pushing these bills, but in your off-duty time, it's your First Amendment right. Freedom of speech. It must be upheld. It must be. There's nothing greater than that. If we're not allowed to say the things we need to say, then we're not allowed to think. Then we're nothing. So while the FDNY is crushing dissent, which is what the NYPD has been doing, right? That's why I have investigations against me. That's why I've been attacked by the upper echelon of the NYPD, by active cops and hidden cops, right? Along with myself, with my podcast partner, Eric Dim. That's why our families have been threatened for giving our opinions, for speaking out and actually standing up for ourselves. I don't know where this is leading, but New York City, I'm telling you, that's why this logo made by Alamo, the People's Republic of New York Fire Department, it honestly start to think maybe that is the proper logo. Maybe that is the proper logo for the FDNY under the agent of change. Again, turn yourselves in or we will hunt you down for booing in a promotion ceremony. What world have we come to? What world have we come to where you're advocating to get your brothers and sisters back to work so that you can fill the ranks, so that your staff is ensured good people, people of faith, people of high moral character? Listen, COVID was the ultimate litmus test, my friends. It was the ultimate litmus test. And we're going to get into a lot of things on that in the next coming episodes. We're going to actually have a 15-year detective that was terminated. He's still terminated, Marlon Bethel. We're going to advocate hard to get guys like Marlon back. These are the best of us. These are the people you want to be cops. You want to be firemen because they told the truth. They didn't lie. They didn't submit fake vaccine cards. They didn't say, you know what, I'm going to go against my faith. They didn't. No, they stood in integrity while they stood in front of a giant, right? With the story of David, my favorite story in the Bible. Favorite story. Stands in front of a giant and everybody thinks they're David. Everybody thinks when the giant's sitting in front of you, you're going to swing that stone, you're going to hit the giant in the head. But what do we normally do when the giant's in front of us? We try to get away from that giant. And that's what most people did. But people like Marlon, people like this EMT, they stood and they fought the giant. They're still standing there, and we have to commend these people. These are people with utmost integrity. Again, the people that submitted fake vaccine cards are still working. They could have easily did that. And I'm talking about the people that got caught. They never investigated how many of those are real or not. And come on, the people working, you know that. And yeah, everybody told me I'm an idiot for not doing the same thing, but I wasn't willing to bend my integrity or ruin my good name for money. I refused to. I will not do it. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And I also wouldn't be able to accept the fact that I was given a pass on something, either because I lied or even if I received it. And now I have to go and terminate people who I love, religious people of high moral integrity, people that have medical issues, people that have philosophical issues. And that's ultimately why I stepped away from my career. Sometimes, my friends will call me, they'll talk about the numbers that I lost because I would not comply. And you know what? You could times it by 10 and I'll still make the same decision. I wouldn't go backwards. I wouldn't go back and I wouldn't submit it. So you lost people that would walk into a precinct or a firehouse or a sanitation or a classroom and see corruption. And you lost the people that would stand up and say, I'm not partaking in this. And you're rewarding the people who would stay silent or worse, go along with it. You're rewarding cowardice. That's what New York City's doing. That's what the fire department wants. Don't talk. Don't give your opinion. Your opinion doesn't matter. We don't want to hear you. Eric Dim said it a while back, my co-host. He said, cops are treated like children. We should be seen and not heard. And now that's exactly what's happening with the fire department, with the FDNY. They're being treated like children. You should be seen and not heard. And I got news for you. July's approaching. There's a lot of smoke around the Adams administration. A lot. And what did he say? Where there's smoke, there's not always fire. My friend, there are plumes of smoke. The fires, I don't think there's one fire. I think there's numerous fires. I'm predicting right now on this show, there will be an indictment. There will be an indictment of Eric Adams. Whether you see it by summer's end or not, I don't know. But I'm predicting the way the media buzz is stirring, I'm predicting right now you are going to see New York City mayor, a sitting mayor, be indicted. And that is not a small feat, because that is not something that anybody wants. It's a slap in the face to our entire political process. It's a slap in the face to New York City voters, to the people who voted for him. I didn't, but it's a slap in the face to all of us that a person of low integrity could even get up there. But I'm predicting it right now. And then all of these people, the agent of change, all of these people who latched on to the get stuff done team will be running for the hills, right? And they're going to be looking for friends. I'll tell you right now, if you don't back off and support Americans and support hardworking, law-abiding citizens and support your own workers, you guys all have staffing shortages. Why are you looking to hurt people who are helping to get them back? I don't know why their unions aren't doing it. I don't know. I have no idea. Why should their unions be doing it? Yeah, they should. Let me give you another example of why their unions aren't. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me just go through my tweets here. I think I'm going to show you another clear example of a political message that was brought to you by the FDNY, by their own. Where is it? I got it. Excuse me. It's right here. So this is going to be a tweet of the UFA president. I think it's the UFA president. It might be the UFO president. And he is advocating for those to take the shot. And what is he on? He's on the FDNY's official Twitter, right? On their official account. They're showing him getting the shot in his arm like he's a hero, right? Like he's a big hero. So let me bring that up for you right here, so nobody sits there and says that I'm a liar. Here it is. This is a political message. UFA NYC President Andrew Ansborough and Health and Safety Officer Michael Schreiber received the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine today, along with others FDNY firefighters. Is that a political statement? It is. But yet FDNY just, again, they reminded their members about their policy, but they showed the world that they don't abide by it. So it's just crushing dissent. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I just wanted to get this out there because I tweeted a lot of stuff. I tweeted out a few memes. Shout out to Alamo Defender 1 on X for making those memes. I shot out a lot of stuff because honestly, it's infuriating. You're seeing New York City crumble. You're seeing the lack of integrity, not only in the mayor's office, but in all of his appointees. And the fire department is looking like an agency that's not far behind the New York City Police Department, where you're going to see firemen, experienced supervisors, leaders like a 38-year veteran, Chief Tom LaPola, one of the few people who deserves that title, Chief, right? Because I constantly say it. It's a disgrace to Native Americans to call most of these people chief, because most of them would be out picking fucking flowers with the women instead of leading a village of people. Tom LaPola is a leader. He's a real chief. He's someone we actually need. He is a guy. He's not doing anything for money. He's running for political office to try to save New York. He could be in his retirement years after serving 38 years. He could be down in Florida with me, with his feet up, relaxing, spending all the money he's earned. Instead, he's still out there fighting for New York City residents. He was out there at the city council hearing. He's still a pivotal member of the Bravest for Choice movement. And honestly, we need to get people like this in office. We need to get back to America, whatever side we're on, whether we agree with each other or not, it doesn't matter. We're Americans, we're New Yorkers, we're people that need to respect each other. These are people you're going to walk into a fire with, you're going to run towards gunfire with, you're going to do anything to teach these kids, or it's for the safety of New York City. I mean, these are your brothers and sisters. I argue with my sisters all the time. I argue with my best friends all the time. I argue with Eric Dim all the time, my co-host. I mean, that's the ultimate love, is us being able to express our opinions and our truths. Now, I'm not knocking anyone for how they felt about anything, but the hypocrisy of not allowing these people to work, and now still spending more money every month fighting these lawsuits that you've already lost is insane. The millions of dollars that are being spent every month to appeal these cases that have already won. The Garvey case, big shout out to George Garvey in sanitation, who's also a member of the DSNY. Big shout out to all of these people, the Kane versus Keel case, the Knifel case. I mean, the city is spending millions of dollars a month. They're spending more money. I'm going to guess, I don't have the figures and I'd love to know them, but I said it to someone recently and I'm going to say it here again. I believe that New York City is spending more money a month litigating these cases and fighting these cases than they would if they just reinstated. 1 month of fighting these cases, if they took that money, they would be able to reinstate everybody that they denied exemptions to, that were either forced into retirement or stood till the end and took the termination. So I believe if they just said, all right, you're all reinstated with back pay and here's even a little settlement, it wouldn't even hit the 1 month cost of legal bills. That's the hypocrisy of New York City. They're chasing good people out for absolutely no reason. Good people, seasoned people, people that are well respected, very highly competent people. And you know what? I'm going to pat myself on the back because I'm one of them, right? You guys treated people like myself like we were nobody, like we were nothing, like we had no voice. And here we are 3 years later, and you got nothing to say. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Shout out to Bravers for Choice. Shout out to Teachers for Choice.
Law enforcement professionals dedicate their lives to serving and protecting our community. But who's protecting their financial futures? That's where Laidlaw Blue comes in. Our wealth management platform is specifically designed for the law enforcement community. Laidlaw Blue is a division within Laidlaw Wealth Management, run by retired New York City detective John McDermott. His status as a retired detective uniquely positions him to establish a deep connection between Laidlaw Blue and the law enforcement community. Our platform is easy to use and provides a range of financial services, including investment management, retirement planning, and insurance solutions. With Laidlaw Blue, you can secure your financial future and provide for your loved ones. Our team of experienced financial advisors understands the unique challenges and opportunities that law enforcement professionals face. We're here to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning and achieve your goals. Laidlaw Blue. Secure your financial future today. Book a meeting using the QR code displayed or call us directly on 888 901 Blue. That's 888 901 Blue.